I'm back. Took off the glasses. Dude, I ain't smack talking your Sonya. Your Sonya was insane. But, I mean, you had 100% of your team's deaths in the second game. So, I do have to be aware of that. And I gotta be fair to both teams. They did kill you twice. No, but that was some great play. Yep, I'm unmuted now. Probably just a little bit of delay. Yeah, but great stuff from the first set. I'm excited to see Infernal Shrines because that is a different map. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing it both in this series and in the next one because there's no map bans, and Infernal Shrines is a good map for when you just kind of want to get a feel for the other team or get the feel for your team because it's a pretty standard map. It's not too snowbally. Works out. All right. Yep, we are still waiting on teams 5 and 6. As I believe they're still in their match from the 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock section. So this is pretty much what you'd expect. It is trying to fit a best of 2 in within the time of the hour and trying to get all 4 best of 2s or 3 best of 2s out by the end of the hour is not the easiest thing, so we're going to have a little bit of delay between the matches unless we end up being the one that goes very long. But hopefully they should be done pretty soon. I can in fact check on whoever's stream that is. That is Rackham. Happy to see him here. Oh, that being said, we have one of our members here. Not sure if this is a sub because I'm not seeing them on this version. Let's see here. I do believe they are going to be a sub. Yep. So we have a sub here for one of our teams. I don't think we need a sub for the other team because I did see their 5th player. Who should hopefully be getting in here pretty soon. We're just waiting on that last series to go ahead and finish. Let me open up Rackham's stream here so I can check on it. Oh, he's starting soon. Ah, it was Weenus who was casting the first one. So let's see where he is at with his series. I think he was the one who ran late in the second one too. Or in the first one too. Okay, looks like they just finished, so they should hopefully be getting in here soon, but someone needs to tell Weenus to get his teams in a bit faster. I kid, of course. But yeah, I'm excited to... Gosh, 2 more best of 2s. This is going to be my longest casting session in a row that I've done so far. So, looks like both teams are ready. We should be jumping into a draft soon, which is what I like to see. As we did get a ready from both teams. It's going to be a bit delayed, of course. Takes a moment to have the game actually start after hitting start in the lobby. It needs to get the servers together, figure itself out. But we should be hopping off in one moment. Ah, no, we're waiting on our second team. Okay, my bad. But yeah, I'm excited because something that is also fun about this free agent night is we get to see a lot of these players may not play exactly meta, or they may play just very certain things, and so I think we're going to see a lot of picks like we saw the Kerrigan target bans, we saw the Tassadar pick, just seeing stuff that we might not see as often in the current meta. So that's going to be something fun. I'm excited to see that, especially see what juicy picks we get, if any. Of course, it is somewhat dependent on the play level. It looks like this lobby we've got around Plat to low Masters range players. So pretty high level of play, and there is definitely a high level of play in our last lobby as well, or higher up. But higher than me is what I say. When I say high, I just mean better than me. But we should be starting any moment now, as we have the go-ahead, and indeed we are. We're into Infernal Shrines. Both of our teams here we got Team 1 and Team B again. Or maybe it's Team A and Team 2. Yeah, we'll call it that for this series. Boom. It was always that way. It's Team A and Team 2 for our free agent night, our second best of 2. Burnt Nacho, I see you in the chat. I appreciate you for coming out. So what this is, I guess I'll explain it again, since we probably do have some newer viewers here. We have a free agent night, so this is all people who aren't on teams, are trying out competitive for the first time, or are on teams and are looking for members for their teams, and so they're getting put into kind of round-robin play style, but with the players moving around as opposed to the teams. So we're going to have multiple best of 2s. This is our second of 3 that'll be on this stream. There's 5 going on. 2 have already happened. And so this is the third of 5. I'm going to be casting 1 more after this best of 2. We're going to see Sonya banned out for her first ban here. And I think that makes sense. This is her best map, and she has definitely risen up in the standings as of late. She used to be pretty much nowhere in the meta, but despite not a lot of huge buffs, she's just been able to kind of climb back up as the meta has progressed and has looked really strong. We especially saw, of course, on that Dragonshire match, Sonya was looking very powerful, even with the leap pick there, something you might consider a bit unorthodox. On the other side, they're banning out Garrosh, and I think that's just a tank that is annoying and you just don't want to deal with. So what's the best thing to do when something's annoying and you don't want to deal with it? Ban it. And we're going to see Johanna banned out. That's something that it's a tank who, on this map especially, where wave clear is so important for the shrine, you don't want to deal with. And the red team, or the blue team, our second team here for the pick, doesn't want to deal with the Zool, so they banned that out. All making sense. So the first pick is here for the red team. Deathwing is available, so we have to consider that. That is always something which could come into effect during this map, but we'll have to see if it is an early pick or not. The early pick will be onto Sylvanas, a hero who many consider to be really, really powerful in our modern meta, thanks to her ability to participate a lot in team fights, do a lot of damage, and then also really put in work in applying her trait to help you push whenever you get a little lead. On the other side, we have Diablo and Kael'thas picked up. So Diablo, this is traditionally one of his strongest maps, if not his strongest, thanks to all of the walls which are available. He has also been coming back a little bit, thanks to some buffs recently on his devastating charge. Thanks for coming out, Tin. I would love to see you later, but I appreciate you coming in. Hope to see you again in the future. And then Kael'thas was picked up, but we have ETC and the Deathwing. ETC, solid tank, makes sense, but Deathwing picked up here as, I assume, an offlaner, but picked up here by Jay, actually, who was the healer last series. So it's going to be interesting to see how he impacts the meta here. Deathwing is something where he really has a huge impact on how a game plays out. It really forces the enemy team to play around you. Now, Kael'thas does have the potential for some percent damage with burned flesh there at level 4, I believe it is. But we're going to have to see, is there going to be a gray main ban, removing the cursed bullet as an option to deal with Deathwing here. Okay, so sorry. I was checking some stuff out. It looks like we are going to see... Okay, so Anna was banned out. That makes sense, is just a healer who can enable so much in a team fight. And then we're going to see Raynor banned out. So they don't want to deal with the sustained damage and the bulkiness that he provides as a DPS. Deathwing is pretty meta right now, Nacho. He isn't necessarily first pick, but because of the way that he works, he is often banned out or picked late in a draft because of the way that he needs to be very specifically built against, and we do see the Greymane coming out for the Cursed Bullet against him. The percent damage going to help out a ton in taking down that monster that is a Deathwing. We're going to see Kael'thas. Kael'thas. We're going to see Stukov alongside that, is of course what I meant to say there. I'm Alright. Already getting to me. Well, we got Anduin, and we have Mephisto. Mephisto coming up again for the second time tonight. Very strong hero. Not really surprised to see him. This is traditionally one of his strongest maps again. A lot of heroes actually really thrive on this map, who may not thrive as much on other maps. But on the other side, we're going to go ahead and see Malthael coming out. So even further percent damage with the last rights here. Really focusing in to try and take out Deathwing, as well as Malthael has really solid Shrine Clear and can really hurt some assassins like Mephisto if he gets on top of them and they aren't able to get him peeled off. As well as, of course, being able to chunk into any frontliner who he ends up going up against. So it'll be interesting to see. We do have, it looks like, an off-lane Deathwing here. So he's going to struggle against the Malthael in that off-lane matchup. We'll have to see how he does and how the four-mans do. As we get into our first match here, we have, or of our second best of two of the night, we're going to have Andrew switching over to the off-lane role from last series, playing Malthael, Akash on the Kilthas, Kelvs on the Diablo, Wipeout on Greymane, and Darth Punisher on the Stukov. For our red team, we have Jay coming back again from last series, but this time playing the offlane on Deathwing, Oltanian with the taunt on Sylvanas, Iron on Anduin, Jet on ETC, and Carpe Diem rounding out the draft on Mephisto for the red team. Let's go ahead and take a look at talents. So far, everything is as you might expect. We do end up seeing the Devil's Due here for Diablo, so looking for the increased globe healing. It looks like the red team just sitting in bushes for the moment. Neither team really going to engage super hard into this mid lane fight as a living bomb gets thrown out, but both teams going to kind of just trying to control the lane and get their wave cleared up. Diablo actually charging in though, Jet not quite connecting in time with the power slide to punish it, but both teams really playing generally pretty neutral. We are going to see the blue team getting a little bit ahead on the rotation as Wipeout already clearing up this bottom wave and even putting a little bit more damage onto Jet there on the ETC. Up in the top lane, Malthael already doing a good job into that Deathwing as you might expect, and we're going to have the blue team immediately going to their camp. Something that's pretty common, although they are missing a little bit of XP in the mid lane and in the bottom lane. Looks like they will catch the bottom lane, and Malthael going to come in thanks to his on uphill horse, level 1 talent, and catch the soak here. As the red team, a little bit behind, but also working on their camp. Alright, Deathwing landing in the bottom lane actually. Bit of an interesting choice there. Maybe saying, team, I can't deal with this Malthael. You guys send someone else to deal with him. I'll hold the bottom lane. And it looks like potentially that person is going to be Mephisto up against the Malthael. Bit of an interesting choice. Level 4 is coming in a bit earlier for the blue team, as it looks like they are getting ahead in the rotations. Kilthas being able to just nuke those waves and help them out a lot. Again, we're seeing a bit of a more macro focus, although they do, of course, have also the potential to really blow up one target, especially once they get level 10 on the side of the blue team. But looking at the other side, we have a lot of heroes who just do so much damage. Mephisto puts out enormous damage. Deathwing puts out enormous damage, especially in the late game. Sylvanas puts out tons of damage. So they're going to be looking to make it to the late game and then be able to set up with a mosh pit and just destroy the enemy team, or even using a Durance of Hate there. Kelvs on the Diablo going to get caught by a power slide, and then a Chastise from Anduin. Going to be able to shadow charge out, but he got super low and is going to have to back. Meanwhile, though, the blue team was on their bruisers, and they're going to have those out while the red team does not, which is going to be really rough for them considering that the next objective is the furthest bottom. Although it looks like potentially they're willing to give up a few of the Shrine minions to do their bruiser in the end. As Greymane going to go ahead and start for the blue team onto this objective. Kilthas clearing out the wave, and it looks like there's about a half a level lead here still for our blue team. They might get level 7 before the red team is able to rotate in if the red team isn't careful. They are keeping Deathwing up top. He is, of course, that pseudo global, a bit of a wind up on it, but he is going to be able to fly into the air and land in a few seconds onto the objective. So we're going to see pretty even talent fight, but already 30 of the Shrine minions picked up for the blue team. Andrew on Malthael caught out a little bit. Going to try and get out, but the charge as well as the lightning breath going to finish him off, as well as the Greymane there. And Stukov also getting caught out. That's going to be 3 kills, it looks like, for our blue team. Only 1 minion needed for the red team. Or 3 kills against the blue team, and while they only need 1, but Kael'thas is going to have to sacrifice his life to get that. So really, trading 4 kills for the Punisher, and luckily this Bruiser is going to get pushed out by the towers, but it did get pretty substantial damage, almost taking a turret. So was the trade worth it? I mean, there's about a level lead now, it looks like, for the red team this time, for Team 2 here. So we'll have to see. Like I said, the scaling of our red team is really scary, and if the blue team isn't able to execute on their blow up composition, it's going to be pretty rough for the red team to, or it's going to be pretty rough for the blue team to keep up in these longer fights over the shrine. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a fight here over the camp. ETC going to take a lot of damage, going to have to back out. We do see Deathwing end up coming down, but not in time to get the camp. Just going to go ahead and Lightning Breath onto that. But Malthael, all the while, getting XP soak. If you look at the experience, he's at 6,400, so he is getting a ton of XP for his team. Deathwing about 2,000 behind, and you can already see that the level lead that was there is already close to about 1/3 of a level. As we look at stats, Mephisto, as I mentioned, and as we saw in the first series, putting in a ton of damage already. Definitely a danger over these shrines if not dealt with correctly. That being said, we have a bit of aggression here from the blue team onto Sylvanas, doing a little bit of damage, but Cataclysm going to come out from the Deathwing, as well as Mephisto using his shade over the wall. Malthael going to get caught and rooted, and the Chastise is going to finish him off. That's a 1-0 trade. Jet going to get stunned by Kelvs on Diablo there. Not going to be able to follow up and get any more kills, but it is a 1-for-0, and the level 10 talents are secured for our blue team, as well as, again, increasing that lead back up to about a level. For the ultimate abilities, we are going to see the upgrade here, Burn Beneath My Shadow. We're going to see the Wailing Arrow, the Light Bomb, the Mosh Pit, and the Durance of Hate. So lots of CC, lots of damage. This is something that is honestly got to be really scary for the blue team, because if they are clumping, they're going to get completely punished, and they're going to be pretty heavily wiped out. Andrew on Malthael getting the retreat pings, but it's not going to be in time, it looks like. Jet there with the power slide. 4-man rotates up and does secure the kill onto Malthael there, just as ults are coming in for the blue team. Where it's going to be go for the throat, Pyroblast, Last Rites, Apocalypse, and Flailing Swipe. So a bit of an interesting thing there. Last Rites and Go for the Throat, both kind of abilities that want to get the last hit, so we'll have to see if they're able to make those work together, if there's going to be any potential counter synergy. Wailing Arrow being forced out to try and help Jet to get out there, as he was getting just pulled all around by Kelvs on the Diablo. But Deathwing going to be hovering over here, looking to potentially set up for a bit of a fight. As the blue team rotating around towards the Punisher, they did grab their Bruiser camp, and we are going to see Kelvs immediately gets booped back after the power slide from Jet, and then caught by the Durance from Mephisto, and that's an early kill onto the frontliner here, and that's really not something you want to see if you're rooting for the blue team, as this looks like they're going to be going ahead and giving up this objective. Andrew on the Malthael already going ahead and starting to soak, and the rest of the team looks like they're going to do the same. Maybe go for a camp, as they have fallen about, they're still about a level behind, but if you look at the kills, that's where it really is showing. 7-0 in favor of our red team here. Banning Deathwing is meta. Yeah, that's another way you can look at it. I think there are definitely some teams that think that they can go up against it. But we are going to see the Arcane Punisher coming in here for our red team. So, going to be dangerous for our blue team since the front wall is completely opened up here. They got the pick onto Malthael and were able to open that up for the next objective. And with Sylvanas' trait, it's just going to be a free fort. Blue team not even able to step up to bait it as Jet is there on the ETC looking and ready to punish whoever tries. There was some decent damage here in the bottom lane thanks to Malthael taking a siege camp, but really it's not going to be anything comparable to what this Punisher might be able to get as it jumps over the wall, getting it baited by Kelvs. Wipeout trying to put damage onto it on the Greymane, but looks like it's just going to be a slow burn onto the Punisher as we're going to see the red team looking for the front wall on the keep. Not much more though, as we are going to see, ooh, bit of a turnaround here, although the Light Bomb and the Durance turns it back around again. And we're going to see Diablo, despite being at full souls, blown up as if he was a squishy assassin. And Darth Punisher getting caught out by the Power Slide and the Cataclysm from Deathwing. Level 13s were in there in favor of the red team, but not for the blue team. So they're going to go ahead and take a lot of damage there, losing 2 of their heroes, but maybe getting their first kill is a bit of an overlap. Andrew gets the kill with the last rites, but goes down from Deathwing. Kelvs really wants to try and get some of these nice charges, but he's not quite able to land some of these stuns, and it's 10-1 in kills so far. Only a level lead still, but if things start getting worse, the longer these death timers get, the longer Malthael is out of the game, and the less he's able to catch them up in the XP, as he is the one putting in overtime, sitting at 12,000 XP soaked right now. And really, if you look at it, that's going to start being... The red team is already caught up as far as minion XP goes. In fact, even ahead on the minion XP. So, blue team needs to start figuring something out here, as they do seem to be struggling a little bit against this really kind of wombo combination, wombo composition, wombo combo. Coming out from the red team, they've got so much CC, the Durance of Hate to set it up, followed up by a Light Bomb, maybe a Mosh, and just completely punishing the entire team of our blue side for even stepping up. Mosh Pit comes out. Interrupt is there from a cache, but it's not going to be enough, as we're going to see Diablo and Stukov both falling, and the fort getting pushed in here now with a camp and Sylvanas. And that's going to be another fort gone in favor of the red team, so now 2 forts down. And it looks like with that, they're saying that the next objective is going to be in the middle lane here on the map. So they're going to go ahead and steal the Bruiser camp here so that they can set up even more pressure in that lane when the shrine spawns. Meanwhile, we do see Sylvanas pushing in with her trait and this siege camp, trying to get some damage onto the front wall, so that if they can get this objective, they can potentially look for a keep and even maybe the game. Coming back to talents, level 16 is here in favor of the red team, but it looks like it should be also here in favor of the blue team in time, as Malthael is going to clear out top a little bit. So, looking at talents though, interesting, we have a bit of a bold strategy build here coming in for Anduin, so an auto attack focus. That'll be very much empowered once they get to level 20, as they will be able to go into the Varian's Legacy there. Both teams choosing not to go for the shrine. Instead, red team looking for a camp to pressure up the top lane, and blue team just looking to clear out their waves a little bit. We are seeing a shadow charge focus with diabolical momentum here from Kelvs on the Diablo. But both teams looking now at even talents going into this Punisher. Ooh, the Durance of Hate does miss. That is big for the blue team. That's a big tool that was really enabling the red team. And Eltanian going to eat a Pyroblast, going to have to sit back until Anduin heals them up. That being said, there are multiple catapults pushing onto the core here for the blue team. It is early in the game, but you do need to keep mind of that, because if they're able to stack up, it will do damage, and it does look like it is, but they're not being helped by the fact that it looks like right now they're losing the objective fight, as Kelvs on the Diablo is being constantly pushed back by the Q, the Flaming Breath there from Deathwing, and they're desperate now. They have to force a fight, but Jet already onto Akash, on the Kael'thas. Stukov gonna go down to the Deathwing, as well as Malthael getting caught in the mosh there. Greymane's gonna follow, as well as Diablo. And the core, meanwhile, already down past 50%, as while it was slow, those catapults put in a ton of damage, down to 40%. Kael'thas is back, but it's not gonna matter. This is gonna be game number 1, not even going for the Punisher, as the red team finishing off the game here on Infernal Shrines. GG. Alright, a very well played game there from the red team. After giving up pretty much the entire first objective, coming in, getting 4 kills, and then just turning it around and winning the rest of the game very handily. 16 kills to only 1, and that was when we did see Go for the Throat, Pyroblast, and Last Rites all used on the same target. So, looking at what these teams did, I think there was a bit of a struggle with execution for the blue team. They had a composition that very much wants to blow someone up. Malthael, with the Last Rites, looks to finish those kills. Greymane, I would fully expected the Cursed Bullet. He's against Deathwing. That percentage damage is so powerful, and it gives them the opening to being able to blow someone up. Kael'thas, of course, being able to do pretty strong there as well. But we didn't see it come out in the end, and I think they really just got punished for not being able to execute on that blow-up. Should hopefully be getting into our next map here any moment now, as we have a follow from D. Thank you, D, for the follow. I appreciate it. Oh, I've got a message now. Alright. Do we have our lobby? Yes? No? Maybe so? We do. Alright, and we are going back to Tomb of the Spider Queen. So this is a map we're going to see a bit more macro focus, as that's my webcam. Nice, just... I don't know. I have an itchy nose during the colder months. Got allergies, so... Getting bored being handed matches by me yet, says Jay. They performed very well on the Deathwing last game. Definitely impressive in the first series as well. We'll have to see if they're able to pull through and finish with a 4-0 record on my stream. I don't believe I have them in my next set. And no, I do not have them, I believe. But hey, they pulled through so far. We'll have to see if they're able to go 4-0. That's the question. If that is the case, poor Andrew here on the left side is going to go 0-4 on my stream. So we'll have to see how it goes. I think that there was definitely good potential here from the blue team, and I like that they decided to go, and I like that we're here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, because I think that's a map where they can kind of show off their macro skills, because I think they did do a great job of rotations in the first few minutes there, and using Malthael on a Pale Horse to get ahead there. That is something that we want to see, and I think on this map they can kind of show it off a bit. That being said, we should hopefully get into our draft any moment now. And there we are. Team 2 is up 1, and we're here on Tomb of the Spider Queen to see if Team A can tie it up for the best of 2 here in our second series for the night. Looking at target bans, I feel like if the Deathwing isn't going to get picked, that might be something you want to start banning out, because it was definitely something that was very powerful, even with the Greymane going against it, and the Malthael as well. Looking at other things, though, the ETC was pretty brutal. The play there from Jet was very strong. Did a great job of rotations for the red team, but we're going to see Zul banned out for the first ban. Interesting choice. I think they could have waited a bit, seen if the other team wanted to ban it out, but no. We're going to see the second pick ban out Deathwing. Kime said banning Deathwing is meta. Looks like red team agrees. For our next ban, it is going to be the ETC after all. So, nice ban there. I like to see that. Yeah, ETC was definitely, I think, a lot of the struggles in the first game, but I think Mephisto also did a lot of work, and we have seen teams already tonight picking Mephisto on this map, so we'll have to see if that comes through again for Carpe Diem. But it's going to be the Johanna ban again. They just don't want to deal with the wave clear and the control that she allows for a team to have. And it's going to be an early Mal'Ganis. This time, Wipeout switching to the main tank position. Had played the Grey main last game. But Sylvanas already, or again, picked up by Ultanian here. So really, they like that hero, and it makes sense, like I said last game. Some people consider her to be OP, some people less so, but I think everyone can agree she is very powerful, especially thanks to her trait. And a Nubarak, a very aggressive tank. I like to see that, gonna enable further plays, which will... I think the aggression worked out very well for the red team in the first map, and I'd like to see it again. That being said, we have a cash back on Kael'thas, and this time Malfurion for the heals here. So, good heroes here. I think Malfurion is very strong thanks to the sustain that he can give on this map. But looking at the other side with Nubarak and Sylvanas opening, that's high aggression onto the backline, so Malfurion's going to have to play this game very careful because Darth Punisher on the Stukov last game did get bullied around a bit. Interestingly enough, we're going to see Zul'jin banned out, maybe not wanting to have to deal with that, as a Tazdingo against a Nubarak who burrow charges in can be very painful for the Nubarak. And for our final ban for this series, we're going to see Jaina banned. She's a mage who just does a similar job to Kael'thas in that she can nuke waves and let your team rotate quick. So taking that out is another just safe ban. Something that you can't really go wrong with taking that out, especially on this map. That being said, we're going to see this time the Ana not banned. It is going to get picked up. And as I had mentioned, Mephisto played here before and gonna get played again. Last time, we did see Mephisto Ana on this map, and it did lose. But we'll have to see if that is true again for this series. We got completely new players here. Gonna have to see if it works out. Because we're gonna see Greymane, this time for Kelvs, our Diablo player from last game, and Blaze for the offlane. A hero that I personally really like. Bunker gives you a lot of safety, and that is going to be direly needed against the nano-boosted Mephisto and the Anubarak that we see on the red team side. Blaze, of course, also offering pretty strong macro, but you know who gives you some nice macro and wave clear? Ragnaros, and he's going to be the last pickup here for Jet in this best of two series between our two free agent teams here. Gotta say, I think both of these drafts are solid. Last game, I wasn't quite sure which I wanted to root for, but I think this time I like the blue team's draft here. I think Blaze really helps them a lot against the Mephisto, against the Sylvanas, against the Anubarak, and I think if they're able to jump in that bunker and safely escape the blow up and the engages of the red team, they can really look to turn around these fights and win in the end thanks to Malfurion's sustain. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get started here on our second map. On the left side, we have, for our teams, Wipeout playing the Mal'Ganis, Darth Punisher, this time on Malfurion, a Cash on the Kael'thas, Andrew on the Blaze, and Kelvs on the Greymane. For our other team, on the red side, we have Jet playing the Ragnaros, Jay on the Nubrak, Iron, this time on the Anna, Carpe Diem on the Mephisto, and last but not least, we have Jet on the Ragnaros, who I hope was indeed the last one, because I realized I had said 4 names but couldn't remember which the 5th was. Alright. Both teams starting with 5 in the middle lane. Interestingly enough, we are going to see Beetles picked up here at level 1 for a Nubrak, so looking for aggression specifically onto structures, pairing in with Sylvanas there, but Jet already getting super low, almost falling thanks to the aggression there, and that is already a very strong start from our blue team as we see the teams going off to lanes. And again, blue team is getting ahead in these early game rotations. They did it last game and they're doing pretty well this game as well. That being said, Wipeout taking a huge amount of damage, having to step forward to get those gems, and gets punished for being there without his team to back him up, as they were all falling back a little bit, afraid of the Sylvanas and the Mephisto. Andrew and Jet kind of just going at each other, but it looks like Jet getting a little bit ahead. Andrew took a good bit of damage in the mid lane engagement, but both solo laners going to do pretty alright here against each other. Looks like both teams just going to continue their rotations, but a huge dive onto Ultanion. They are going to be able to get out. A nice dart, or a nice grenade there from Iron, going to deny healing to Wipeout. He's going to go ahead and back up now. And we're going to see the teams just rotating back and forth, as you do. Nubrak, again, looking for a barrow charge, not connecting though. Looking again in the bot lane, looks like Blaze has managed to get a bit of an upper hand now. Jet's still pretty low, but trading at least decently evenly. Neither team getting super far ahead so far. Both playing passive, waiting for a point in the game where team fights are going to provide a lot more and where they want to go for the objective. That being said, we did have Greymane and Malfurion for the side of blue, finishing out the Bruiser camp early. So they're going to maybe look to push in with that, and I think that's something that is very good for them, because if they can set up siege pressure early against the red team, that's going to make it a lot harder for them, because the red team wants to siege. They want to be able to open up the enemy team's side of the map, but if they're constantly pushed in, they will not be able to do that. And the blue team is turning in their gems real quick, but they're going to be able to have 4 members push in with this Bruiser camp, I would imagine. Looks like maybe only sending 3, as they're going to have Mal'Ganis making sure that he's getting the top soak and watching a Nubrak, although a Nubrak is now coming in. And it looks like they're just going to be comfortable getting a bit ahead, getting their gems turned in, as they are 40 out of 50. The other team not having any of their gems yet turned in, although they now grab their Bruiser camp. Jet caught out a good bit on the other side of the map. Akash taking a lot of damage that was actually going to fall, but there is going to be the kill back onto Jet, and he's going to lose a few gems there. Good play there from the blue team. Not sure exactly what got Jet caught out so far, but taking those gems away is going to give them a little bit of a lead on the map. That being said, looking at the Bruiser camp here, there is also some pretty good structure damage coming in for our red side. Greymane going to look to clear that up, as we have Andrew also rotating into the middle. Going to go for the stun, but he's a bit... are they going to be able to get Jay? They do, and the 20 gems are positioned really far to the left. That's going to be all gone, and Iron also gets picked up as a kill. Blue team doing a great job so far in this map, and looking at the gem counts, they're 15 over their turn in, while the other team needs 25 more, so that's about a 30 gem difference, 40 gem difference between these two teams. That's an enormous difference for this early in the game. Looks like Andrew, again, just trading into the Jet. Neither really coming out on top, though. The first objective coming in, and we do have Jet rotating into the top lane. Top lane often prioritized thanks to it being the lane in which the boss pushes, and so Jet is going to use his trait, which makes Ragnaros so powerful to try and push out this top lane very effectively. That being said, the blue team's going to go ahead and start rotating into the mid lane as a result. Akash, though, on Kael'thas has gotten pretty low. Good poke coming in on the rotation. Wipeout and Kelv's also getting low, and a great grenade once again from Iron. They're going to have to back up and not really getting that much with their objective. That being said, Andrew is pushing in the bottom lane. Going to get at least the fountain there. And looking at the gem count, I believe we have a button for this. We are seeing still not many gems for our red team. The blue team, in fact, I think has more. Indeed, they do. It's really rough if you're on the red team right now because you were able to de-push, but that doesn't really matter much. And as I say that, they do, in fact, lose the bottom fort here. Maybe not clearing that up as quickly as they would have liked with just Mephisto there for a while. But the blue team has gotten ahead in the structures, and they're still ahead in the number of gems that they have, despite having already turned in once. So that is a huge boon for them. That's going to help them a lot. And they are at level 10, so they're going to be picking up their ultimate abilities as well. If they can get this turn in before the other team gets 10s, that will be enormous for them. We're going to see Tranquility, Pyroblast, go for the throat once again. Carrion Swarm for Mal'Ganis, of course, and the bunker. That being said, looking at the red team, level 10s are very big for them. That's really where the majority of their team's potential comes out, is in that team fight. Pyroblast came out onto Jet. I heard it there, and he's going to fall. The gems are going to be recovered, but that's a kill in favor of the blue team. And Jet is the main plan for defending against this objective. He got the Siege Giants, but they're not going to get anything. And the blue team has their turn in ready, and I imagine they've just got to go for it here. Level 10s are in time, though, for the defense. We see Sulfurous Smash, so not the Lava Wave. Locust Swarm coming in for a Nubrax, so not feeling like Cocoon would get enough value, like you'd be able to isolate a good target. Interesting choice there. Also going to give him a bit of sustain, so maybe that played into it as well. The Nano Boost, though, of course, as well as the Wailing Arrow and the Durance of Hate. They've got to finish this camp quick. Andrew, Jet propulsioning on, gonna secure it. The 20 spell armor is gonna help them against that Durance and the damage from Carpe Diem, but it was really kind of half-hearted, and we even see the bunker coming out, so a nice invade coming out for our blue team. And with the Bruisers, we see Kelvs diving onto Jet on the Ragnaros. The Carrion Swarm comes out for Wipeout, gonna help them out, and pushing back the entire red team very handily here. Ooh, but a huge turnaround, as well as an enormous Sulfurous Smash. We see two going out as Malfurion and Greymane both die. And Jet is able to get into his fort form here and save the middle fort here from what looks like it was for sure going to fall. Huge plays there from Jet. The Meteor, the Q there, empowering his auto attack and making it cleave. And then the Sulfurous Smash completely just demolished the side of the blue team. And while they are going to get all 3 forts here with their objective, that's 5 kills and a lot of comeback experience, as well as the gems going down. So now I think we do, well, maybe not enough to get them ahead, quote unquote, but we do have a nice bit of comeback here for our red team. That being said, they chased really far looking for the Blaze kill, and bottom lane was able to push in and get a keep. That's constant catapults, and that is enormous for this early in the game. Jay looking for a little bit of aggression here. As we also see Carpe Diem looking for some good stuff coming in. Akash gets low, Tranquility forced out, but no kills coming in for either side yet. Wipeout, though, coming in on Mal'Ganis, Sleeping Jet, as well as Jay on the Anub'arak. He's going to get stunned, and even with the Carrion Swarm, he's getting dropped pretty low. Going to be able to get out thanks to the Burrow Charge there. If we look at our talents here, both teams are hitting 13. Talents, kind of what you would expect. We do have Blood Rush, which is something I don't see too much, but it is definitely a good option here for our Mal'Ganis. As well as the Suppressive Fire. I like to see that. A good adaptation from Blaze. Going to be able to reduce the spell power of Mephisto, which is going to be really nice when he has that nano boost and he's trying to get the one-man wombo combo, as it were. Andrew watching the turn-in, trying to make sure that the red team isn't able to get it for free. A nice Wailing Arrow, as well as the ultimate ability there from Mephisto is going to get the kill onto Wipeout. He's not able to use his ult in time. And then the Sulfurous Smash going to secure the kill onto Greymane. Akash on the Kael'thas is super far hidden. He's going to drop as well. And despite looking so far ahead, now that 10 is through, the team fights are so powerful for the side of our red team. And they're going to finally get their first objective of the game. Not likely to get a lot in the bottom lane, as they are heavily pushed in. 2 Siege Giants, 2 Catapults. But the middle and top lane are pushed in, so they're likely going to try to push out the forts here. I see Mega Muffin in the chat. Thanks for coming out. Says y'all better watch out for Wipeout. Wipeout has been performing very well so far. And another great Durance there onto 2, but not really following it up. You can throw out that ultimate ability. It's only a 50-second cooldown, but and if they're able to force out the Tranquility for it, that's definitely worth it. So red team gonna be pretty happy with that, at least. That being said, the top fort was saved, so it looks like the middle fort is the only place we're gonna see potentially something coming out here for the red team. Sleep coming out onto Anub'arak, but the fort is going to fall here to the Webweaver. Gonna have to see, as both teams splitting up quite a bit. Andrew dropping the bunker to save himself. Jay diving in onto Darth Punisher, and Wipeout trying to just 1v9 in the backline here as his team is running away. Health bars pretty low for the blue side, but starting to come back up, and really a pretty strong defense considering that they had just lost, just been wiped pretty much before this came out. As expected, bottom lane did not quite get anything, so while they were able to come back pretty well, that was only a fort here. So the real question is, what are we going to see from this next turn-in? As we do have level 16 advantages shortly for the red team, but not going to last long, as level 16 is now here for blue as well. And it looks like the minion waves are building up here in the bottom lane. Not quite going to get the fort down, but it is very low and definitely going to fall here. That being said, the aggression onto Jet and onto Jay on the Anub'arak. The root gets cleansed out by Ana. Very nice, but it's not going to matter because Jet is going to go down. And that kill is perfectly timed for the blue team to get this defense, potentially. Iron getting dived after by Kelvs on the Greymane. But now it looks like he's getting a little bit low. And Darth Punisher going to get caught by Mephisto here. Going to go for the Tranquility to help himself out. The bunker is also there just in case. But it looks like we're going to see the blue team just go ahead and disengage, as all forts are down now on the map. Will the blue team be able to make sure that they don't lose any keeps and therefore maintain a structural advantage on the map? Looks like probably so, as they are clearing it up. So good defenses here from the blue team. You have to remember, it's 2 objectives to 2 now, so having an advantage on Siege when you're against the Ragnaros team is very impressive here. Good play coming out. Monkus asking why everyone copies his Mephisto build. I don't know. Maybe it's almost as if it's good. But we are seeing a very sneaky boss here. The three-man stun coming out, but it's getting taken for free. It did get sniffed out a little bit, but it was too late here by the blue team and a bit late even by me. Root coming out onto Jet, but the Sulfuras smash after the jump there, or the dive in from a Nubrak, and that's going to be 2 quick kills. Wipeout doing his best to stop the red team from their engage, but not quite able to keep up with the fast-paced engages that they're able to do with the Nubrak. And with the Nano Boost onto Mephisto, they're pushing through this keep with Sylvanas, and this is very, very dangerous. This boss is still full health going on to Core, and 2 are dead. This could potentially be game. What looked like it was still at least somewhat in favor of the blue team for so long is now going so wrong so quickly. And this is definitely Core taking damage. Red team seems a little bit unsure, but with Jet popping the trait, this is them committing. Kelv's taking a lot of damage on the Greymane. He's the main boss there. He needs to be careful. Nice stuns coming out from the front line, and Kael'thas and Malfurion are up, but the Core is down to 40%. Getting low. Boss is down, though, as well as the frontliner in a Nubarak. We're going to see Sylvanas falling as well. Iron on Ana and Jet on Mephisto. On Ragnaros getting low as well, but it's a 5-man wipe, and the Core holds on with 23%. Whoo, baby. This is likely an opportunity for a turn-in for the red team, or blue team. They need to be careful. There's still a catapult here. This is going to do damage. Yep, Core down to 22. 19. Oh, they're just looking for the end here. They're not even turning in. Well, they do have a Greymane, so there is definitely the potential there, but they definitely need to do it quick because that catapult took out a lot of damage, and there is more catapults coming in. They need to get on this Core. Shields are going down, but the entire team for red is going to come up very soon, down to 80%. A nice root coming out from Darth Punisher just to try and help. The bunker will not be available, as we did see Blaze fall, but there was enough time, and it's going to be the blue team, despite 16% on the Core, coming out on top. So tying it up, so it's going to end up being 1-1 for the second best of 2 so far. Hey, that was... I wasn't sure that the blue team had it, but you know what? I think that they made the call correctly. They have Greymane, and that just... Oh, he tore through the Core. Very impressive on the second map. I gotta say, I was worried for the blue team, but they did so well in the early game, and they were able to come back from the 2 kills and the full health boss on Core, and just knew that they had the ability to end, even when I wasn't sure that they were able to. So great play from them there. As we should hopefully be getting into our next best of 2 very soon here.